on 95.3 FM in Windhoek, Desert Radio. The Bold Voice.
Here on 95.3 FM on this Friday morning with my lovely co-host. I didn't say lovely the other day and you got upset.
Yeah, I did, because I became so used to it now. And then the one day she doesn't say, I'm like, what's going on? What did I do? Am I not lovely anymore? What's
Maybe
happening?
I was having an off day, but you're always lovely, John Colin.
You can't see it now, but I'm smiling so hard through my mask. I promise you.
Cheesing. The time is 7:37 and we're joined now by Desray Nomhle, and she is the spokesperson of the National Theatre of Namibia and a filmmaker as well. And as we love to do it here on Desert Radio on Fridays, our creators, we love y'all. So good morning, Desray. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Chomi, I saw you laughing there when I said
Well,
filmmaker.
I'd love to take credit for the things, but I have to rectify that. I am not a filmmaker, but am I a supporter of the creative industries? Yes, I am, by all means. So I do know there is a Desray Kahikopo that did The White Line.
Oh,
She's
yes,
the
yeah.
filmmaker.
No.
Yeah.
And there's some other Desrays as well.
There's some other
I'm pretty sure
Desrays.
it's
Of course.
amazing. But yes, I'm all for the arts.
Well, you know what? What it comes down to is you are a name in the arts and the
Yeah,
industry.
there we go.
And on skin girls.
There we
Yeah,
go.
so, okay, but I'll take it. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
be a filmmaker in the
You know,
near
manifest
future.
it.
Yes,
Come
manifest
on.
it.
Come on.
Candlelight emojis.
Yes, candlelight emojis. I am manifesting it. I'll be your filmmaker in the next interview.
There
Love
we
it,
go.
love it.
Yes.
How are you doing this morning though, Desray?
I woke up early. Let's just start off the day. I did look for the worm. I didn't see
find it.
much of it. So,
So-
I don't
so-
know if I woke up like, what early do people wake up?
So all these years you've been hearing about this worm that people
I'm
have been
like,
finding.
yes.
And now all of a sudden you wake up and there are questions around
Where's
that.
the worm?
Yo.
Where's the worm?
Yeah, so I did wake up early. It's an amazing Friday. Yeah, so let's just see what the day brings.
Let's see
I
what
love
the
it.
day holds.
I love it.
Now, Desray, let's just start off with just speaking a bit about like PR, right? Because that is the industry that you're in the creative arts. So just tell us a bit about who Desray is in that inner circle.
Professionally, I work for a performing arts institution. In fact, I must say it's the only theatre in the country. So
The only
I
one, yeah?
do public relations for the National Theatre of Namibia, and I've really been lucky enough to have to be exposed to so many aspects of public relations within the entertainment industry, which is it's a bit of both. It's corporate and entertainment. So
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to work with amazing creatives, and I'm also lucky enough to work with corporate institutions to put on like the
Wow.
but so that in itself is amazing. Public relations obviously affords you the opportunity to be able to communicate with people, which is the biggest part of it. So over the years, you kind of like build on all of the aspects of and find out actually what the importance of communication is. So it's amazing because the whole world is driven by communication and how you can communicate, whether it is through art or whether it is through talking or but you do, even in your silence, there is a level of communication, and it's just amazing to be able to explore all of these in a field as public relations.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, like as you said, right, it's the only theatre that we have in Namibia, the National Theatre, which is mad. It's so crazy. But that said, right, the COVID-19 pandemic has been, it's dealt quite a blow to everybody globally and a lot of industries as well. So how has it been for the National Theatre through these pandemic times?
I mean, for the National Theatre specifically, perhaps I should take it a little broader in terms of how creatives have been affected. A lot of theatre has to do with live interaction.
Yeah.
There's no theatre production where you can press pause and rewind because you live in that particular moment when you're inside the theatre. And also actors thrive a bit of that, of like the human connection that is happening at that particular moment. So a lot of that couldn't particularly take place, and taking theatre on screen is really not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really not the same. But nonetheless, we had done the best that we could through the pandemic. We've had one online production, obviously, so that was a bit suitable. It was new, but it opened ways of exploring like how different you can do theater as well, and how you can perhaps incorporate technology within theater. But it still remains that it is this tangible human form of creativity that you really cannot replace with a screen in front of you.
Yeah.
With that, a lot of people had really been touched in terms of actors, producers, directors, and so forth, that they couldn't perform. And unfortunately, when the first things were cut, it was the creative industry.
Yeah.
But funny enough, it was the creative industry that had carried us all through the pandemic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I saw a lot of people wanting to do pottery. All of a sudden, you're pasting things, you're drawing, you're artistic in your house, like all of that. But it is such an important part of our innate human nature that generally, when you're at your most relaxed, you tend to lean back to something creative.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's nothing that any human being can escape. Obviously, other people are more talented than others, and others make a living of it. So they too have been really affected, and we're just glad that we could, as the theatre, do what we could. So we've had a lot of things that was on capacity building, which was workshops. Like let's then work on investing in ourselves and our crafts by saying if we can teach one another, like having like dance workshops, let's have conversations. We've had webinars speaking about the effects of art and culture.
No.
We've had some storytelling sessions on languages, like a lot of the things that you can do on small scale. So as an institution, we could, despite all the trouble, still somehow manage. Probably not at the best of our ability, but as the individuals, they have really been affected by that. But we're hoping, the situation is bad, but it's not dire. So we won't ponder much on what was negatively affecting, but we're hoping that people had an opportunity to create, so that if we're opening the doors, we can have these amazing productions and stories coming back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm also just a bit interested to know. Of course, the pandemic brought its challenges with it, right? But pre-pandemic, it wasn't so rosy, also, right? So I want to find out from your side, especially with somebody that is quite close and connected and within the creative space, what challenges perhaps you have seen throughout the years that could perhaps be easily rectified, or given solutions to that people in the industry are facing, particularly those that use the NTN as a platform of some sort, and as a channel to get to people.
I think I forgot parts of your question.
I went on there for a while, yeah.
But I'm alluding to that you are asking, like, what can people do? People face different difficulties in different times. So I'm pretty sure I won't be able to answer, like, what particular problems, in fact. But I can say there are some ways that as a nation we could generally use the creative arts to solve problems, because you see what the art does is it reflects the society back to us. You go to a show, you see a comedy show, what do you laugh at? What is most true to you? I think people find that very funny. Like when you're at a competition, someone is mimicking how people wake up in the morning or how they go shopping. It is for some reason very amusing, because you love what is true to you, because it's just reflecting back to you. And that's what the arts does. It shows a society who they are. And I think we undervalue maybe the importance of that particular aspect of the arts. And I would hope as a problem solving that we bring back arts within the education system, because within life skills lessons or stuff like that, because it really, as much as we are craving to all sorts of successes and stuff, there's the one success that is that maybe we're underplaying, which is the achievement of emotional intelligence or mental well-being, and that's a great stimulator for for doing that. So that would just be as a general as to how we can solve some problems in terms of artists, because once we do that, it could open ways for many people. So then it doesn't sound so weird if someone says like, I'd like to be a psychologist, but like an art psychologist. I give you art lessons to heal yourself. Or I'd like to be an actor, because you know the importance of that actor to society. When someone says I'd like to be a musician, I'd like to be a fashion designer or so forth, because we live with these things, but for some reason no, because when you go home and you do switch on your TV, you listen to music, but you don't understand that there's a creator behind that that needs all of your support. So as a general, I would really that people understand and support the importance of their art, and then just support the artist, like an actual support. Go to a show or go sponsor a ticket to someone, even if it's your friend. If you really don't like rap music or theater or so, then buy a ticket. Talk to these people and say, who's the organizer? I can pay for 5 tickets, give it away, or whatever the case is. So I think we should get back to society really understanding, because also the lovely thing COVID did was it made us understand that we really need each other and we need to hold each other's hands. So
absolutely.
You could collaborate. There have been so many collaborations with people, with institutions like, oh my goodness, this has happened. Oh, I have a car, you want to go buy the groceries. Or, I have a song, you have a beat, like, let's see what we can do within the pandemic. So that really taught that there was some positives that had come out of it. So it really just, as a collective, that we understand the importance of every other creative or, in fact, every, I almost said department. But yes, I'm hoping that somehow it places some light on the question, yes.
No, I definitely agree with you on that one, Desray. We need to support the creative arts. And like as parents, we mustn't look down on the creative arts. Encourage your kids. Be actresses, be actors, be musicians. It pays off. It means something in the world, because we go to that when we need, just that entertainment, that safe space. We all go to that. So there has to be a creator behind that.
Yes, and there has to be an escape from all the numbers and everything.
Absolutely.
100%.
100%. Now, Desray, I just want to speak a little bit on, just like theater culture in Namibia, right? It's something that I would say now is growing. We see more people coming to shows and just taking an interest in the productions that are happening. But it wasn't always that way. So just from your following of, theater culture in Namibia, just speak to us a little bit about that, on like how it was, how it is, and how it's growing. Where are we going when it comes to theater?
I'm hoping that we go. But obviously the theater culture in Namibia, it is going to go. It came along.
It came along,
Because also theater was always considered as this very elitist type of art. These are like very fine. It was for a specific genre of people. And also before independence, it was available only to white people. So you can see, like, when the doors were open for black people actually to participate. So a lot of the time, black people had to do like protest type of theater. So that even in the difference, because we had to march for things. Like, hey, take it, and they speak on what was happening then. And then that had excluded the black society mostly from theater, and created the perception that it is something that is only for a certain elitist group of people. In terms of classes as well, like a certain class of person goes to the theater. And I must say that perception had drastically changed over years, which we really appreciative of. And that meant that people actually felt welcome, because also as a people, theater, and especially black people, theater isn't something that is new. Like,
No, definitely
we grew up telling stories, acting. The only difference is we didn't have a 4-walled building with nice sound and everything. But this is part of our cultures. Storytelling around the fire, singing, dancing. These are things that we grew up doing. And it isn't new to us, but then, of course, and it's refined, I don't want to say refined. English is failing me today. English is really failing me. But in its form, it did really grow and it really did open. It was amazing to see some new forms of theatre that have been taken on. Like last year, we've had like all of this digital showdown as a theatre case. So usually you see the light designers and sound people behind the scenes. So this time they actually created a performance. So that was mind blowing and amazing. So really, it had changed, and we're hoping it does. Theatre culture, and when we speak about culture, you speak about like the people that actually,
Yes.
once you're for the culture, you're there. And
Yeah,
whether it's
exactly.
the show or not, you're
Yeah.
like hanging around there. It is definitely growing and coming back. There's a great interest within theatre, and also just I think a great education in terms of the theatre isn't just being the actor and the actress. There's so many behind the scenes. There's so many other opportunities. There's
Yes.
wardrobes, there's makeup, there's light, there's staging, there's there's like making sets, for instance. Like there's so many aspects, and then people are actually able to see that I could be part of this culture, this group of people, without necessarily having to. I don't act, I don't sing, I don't do none of that. But
I can still be there.
but you can still, we can still be there. So
Yeah.
it's been an amazing couple of, at least for the time that I've been at the theatre, it's been an amazing time to just see the growth and then just see new things and new people and new stories on there. So
Now, Desray, I want us to change gears just a bit.
Sure.
You know, obviously we brought you, to speak a bit to us about the NTN, but also since you, I guess, it's a nice opportunity to get to know you also,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
We also sort of just want to get to know who Desray is, away from the PR circle, away from the NTN circle. Like, who are you as a person? What is it that we love doing generally? We know that you're not a morning bird.
yes.
We know
Who
you haven't
am
found the
I?
worm.
Yes,
But-
I did not find
Yeah,
the
but
worm.
outside of that, like, talk to us a bit. Who is Desray, man?
Who am I? I find that question so difficult because I think you are who you are when nobody's watching. Am I
Yeah.
gonna say who I am?
True.
I don't know that. But I think who I am. Sure, there's a lot of things I am and who I could be, but I think I'm a very outgoing person.
Yeah.
Maybe outgoing in the sense that I don't know. I find it easy to speak to people, and I love traveling. Yo. Guys, if you wish anything of me to come through, please say my screenshots. Yes, I've been screenshotting destinations. What. I love architecture. I love buildings, looking at buildings. I think in my other life, if ever I was going to be a photographer, but then there's something about incomplete things or this is weird. There's weird things happening, but there's something that is beautiful for me. So something is ruined, like beautiful ruins. We've had the Veldbrand. Like I felt like, can I be a photographer to just capture this? Like when buildings, when they were building the highway, when you go to, is it Virgin Active, the Grove Mall?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, I wish I was a photographer to just capture as that
As
thing
it's
is
going,
going.
yeah.
So there's something about that attracts me. And I don't know why it is. Is it something that says about broken souls? Maybe I don't want to look too deep into it.
Yeah.
But then I have a really great appreciation for the little things, for the little things in life. So mostly that's who I am. I'm also a mom to this amazing girl. They did tell me you didn't add your surname on the poster that's out. So okay.
And you're like, okay.
And she's like, what about your surname? What about your surname? It should be Desray, obviously. Mentor.
Yeah.
What about your surname? So, right, I did rectify that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I have a daughter. She's I think she's a good child.
Yeah.
She's a good child, and maybe just a shout out to her. So maybe she'll see this.
Yeah, why not? I
Yes.
mean, we live on Facebook, so
I
she'll
don't know.
definitely
I don't
see
know.
this.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
Honestly, that's so wholesome
Right?
and like serendipitous. Like that's so beautiful, especially the part where you're like, I find the beauty in like beautiful ruin.
It's
Desray.
just like I don't
Horse?
know. But then and then people would always be like, "You weird. Like, how can that be beautiful?" I remember this one time, a friend of mine came in my office and was like ranting and something, and I was like, "No, but look at it." This like, "Oh no, I wasn't asking for your sunshine and roses. Like, it's not all sunflowers. Like, I want to vent, so leave me alone."
Listen,
So,
you see, you seem to me to be somebody that always looks at the positive in any
Yes.
situation.
and that's why my friend said, "Not
Yeah?
my whole life in roses." Can you stop looking at the sunlight? I do mostly, and I do. It's not because I'm actively sitting and looking at it, but for somehow I always find the positive thing that's going to carry me through any situation, and which makes it seem like you're dealing a lot more easier than other people with situations. It's not necessarily the case, but you hold on to that little bit of light or hope, and then nothing else seems bigger than that specific light. So even if the darkness seems a little bit bigger, you are unable to see that because you do see there's the light. There it is.
So talk to us about what fuels that. Like, when you wake up, what is that first thing that grabs you to, the light?
Coffee.
That take you to the coffee.
And she likes her coffee black with no sugar, no milk.
Coffee. What are you talking about? Cup and happiness in a cup. That's it.
Oh, wow.
The answer is coffee.
How many cups of coffee do you drink a day?
Do we count?
No, we don't.
not
Does
you.
anybody count?
At this point, we're just going to call her a coffee connoisseur. Like, not
does
even a coffee
but
lover, just a
do
connoisseur.
you count? Do you guys actually count?
Okay, I mean,
Desray, those of us that are not...
are those personal questions?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we count, Chief. You can't have more than 3 cups of coffee in a day.
Okay.
Sure.
No,
I take it you have more than 3 cups of coffee.
I don't know. Like, I don't count.
Hectic.
We just sip.
As a Jen, I don't count the first cup of coffee at home. Start counting from 10 o'clock. You're
Oh,
like,
wow.
yes, I have had a cup of coffee.
Hectic.
And then, other than that, are we reading? Are we watching movies?
Yes.
What's going on in that
yes. I read. I don't read as much as I should, but I don't read the terms and conditions of some things. But I do read. I think the last half read that I did was the half read I did was some book from T.D. Jakes. Like it was at a friend's place, so I grabbed the book, and I was so into that book. But now I can't ask my friend to get the book. Yeah. So I do read. I love things that are based on real life events. So therefore, I love to read biographies of people, or like even if it's a zombie story, like I really love things that are based on real life events. So therefore, also my movies, if they're not based on real life events, it must be really maybe comedic, because sure, sci-fi, I don't want to think. I want to relax when I'm watching. I don't want to think for a single bit. I'm like, can the plot be as cheesy as possible? Like, can the movie be as yes, I know they're gonna meet, the books are gonna fall, pick it up, you're gonna fall in love, and yes, like I watch the most cheesy movies, and then unless of course it is events that are based on real life, which is, I loved Inventing Anna on Netflix just recently, and I was like, girl, the glasses are inspired.
The glasses are inspired. That actually makes sense, yeah.
So I'm like, let me get my Inventing Anna glasses on. Maybe I'll pull a string.
Low-key, we all want to be an Anna, because she did the things that had to be done.
She lived. I mean, as wrong as it, morally wrong, but then everybody has got different morals. So what could be morally insane for you is okay for
somebody else.
For somebody else. So yeah, that's mostly who I am, and watching.
Listen, I'm having so much fun.
Me
man.
too.
I'm having
Honestly.
so much fun.
I don't want it to end, but I'm looking at the time
And
I'm like,
unfortunately, we have to cut because I really want to ask more questions, man. I'm so intrigued in just this bubbly personality, this person that just, looks at the light and just makes everything so positive. I really love it. But unfortunately, Desray, we have run out of time. But that means we'll definitely have you back.
We
soon.
have to have her
We
back.
have to. I don't think there's a negotiation about
okay.
that. Yeah?
Fine. I'll be guest presenting.
There
Yes,
we go.
yes.
There we go. We'll have our co-host soon.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
100%. Desray, thank you so much for making time for us this morning. And we do hope that maybe another morning you will find the worm.
Yes. I'll try. Maybe the 4 o'clock club does
Maybe.
Yes, maybe. I'm hoping to find the worm. So, but thank you so much, guys, for having me. It's been amazing. It's Desert Radio. I love the vibes.
Now we love your vibe.
We love your
We
vibe.
love your vibe.
Thank you so much.
Of course, Desray Nomhle, mentor, the public relations officer at the National Theatre of Namibia, just giving us an insight on, what's been happening at the theatre, of course, and just getting to know her just a bit as we've now established her as the coffee connoisseur. 8:01 is the time on the clock. We will bring you your sports news immediately after this.